Guess what? It's that time to center the shelf. Well, hello, and welcome back to Shelf Centered. Thank you for stopping by. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I always forget to do that right at the beginning, unless I don't. So some big news. We have reached 10,000 views on the channel. That boggles my mind that many views have occurred, and I'm pretty excited about that. I cannot believe that we've done that. I wanted to right off the bat just give you some heads up about next week. It is Thanksgiving week in the States. I'm actually going to be out of town for a solid week, and so I wanted to give you heads up. I've got 2 videos planned. We'll see if I can fit in a third. I have a third filmed. I just don't know if I'll have the editing time before then. Maybe I can post there. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, my thought is to do a Monday and a Wednesday drop, which is obviously completely different than what I just announced at the beginning of the video. So, but that has traditionally been my how I'm able to get videos out, and I'm pretty proud of being able to do that. And in fact, I've been able to do a number of weeks with 4 videos, just not all the time. That makes it just about really hard to really get everything going with how busy my schedule is otherwise. So just wanted to give you heads up. 2 videos dropping next week, not my usual 3, but it's a miracle that I've gotten these 2 ready. One will be a review of Sorcery, and kind of just a review of kind of the beginning of Terry Pratchett, or at least just an introduction to Terry Pratchett to some degree. Sorcery is the 5th book in the Terry Pratchett Discworld series. It is also quite standalone. You know, it helps to read a couple, but it's not absolutely important. It can stand alone on its own. The other one I've already filmed and edited is the Goodreads choice. I got bones to pick with it, so I did my first rant video. We'll see. Anyway, we'll see how that goes. I got some frustrations, and I've kind of already mentioned them in some videos, but the biggest one I think is November and December. Why do you hate them so much? So I also, keep my notes here, I also do have a video where I have essentially a why read the Ian Cameron Esselmont books, The Malazan Empire, for the Malazan series. I feel like it gets overlooked way more than it should. There's a lot there, a lot of good stuff that I think big, true, I'm going to gatekeep here, just kidding, Malazan fans will love it. Anyway, or not, whatever. Do your thing. But anyway, that's what I'm trying to get people to do that. So currently, I've kind of done this all out of order. I usually don't do it in this order, but here we are. So what I'm currently reading is I am plugging away at Dune. I had mentioned this. This is my reread, and I watched the video. So I started reading Dune before the movie came out. I realized it just wasn't going to fit in my schedule to finish before the movie came out, and I didn't want to rush anything. If that's even possible. And so I put it to the side, but after watching the movie, and I kind of was in a good place of finishing some books, I was like, you know what, I need an ending. It's been a while, I'm a little rusty in my memory as to how this ends, and I have to say, about 200 pages in, I am impressed at how much the movie stayed true to the book. Obviously, I had some issues, as you'll see in my Dune movie review, with like the big banquet scene and the kind of embarrassing the water guild, or no, the banker embarrassing the banker. Literally just read it, and all that, and just how that goes. I was, there's some things that were left out. It would be a 10-hour long movie if it weren't. This is good, and anyway, I'm really enjoying Dune. The other one, I am listening to The Heroes by Joe Abercrombie. It is just always great to read in the First Law universe, and I am just about done. I'm listening to it, so I've got and I did it through the Overdrive app on my local library. So I've got about 1.5 parts left of the 22 parts. So I might even be done by today, literally. So really enjoying that. It's the Heroes is great, and this is just kind of my philosophy on books. I feel like the Heroes, of all the standalones especially, but of all the Joe Abercrombie books, it's gotten some kind of mixed reviews. What I found with my tendency to kind of come at these a little slower, these books, and not do them all just binging. I don't binge anything, which there's some drawbacks. There's clearly some drawbacks. I recognize some names, and I have to go up to the First Law wiki and go, okay, who's this guy again? Oh yeah, I remember now. So it takes me some time, and I have to do some extra research to figure out who some of the people are, especially, and who knows who I haven't remembered. But on the whole, what it helps me do is compare these books individually to all books instead of just Joe Abercrombie books, for instance. And I feel like there's a lot there. I feel like you almost need two different ratings. One is rating a book against other books in the series, and then another rating a book against all books everywhere. Because I feel like Joe Abercrombie is a notch above your average, definitely in my book. But then obviously there's going to be gradations in between the series. But so far, I'm just about done. I guess it's hard to say. I guess I don't have an ending yet, but so far it's probably mid to lower. So I guess anyway. So I can understand the mixed reviews, but if at the same time, if I'm comparing it to all other books ever, it's definitely on the top end. So anyway, spoiler alert for that, eh? All right, I wanted to get into the anticipated books. I've got one book that came across, and I'll post the artwork on it. It looks great. I'm a big fan of Wesley Chu. His Lives of Tao series I really liked, and then Time Salvager is really good. And I'm really looking forward. He's got a new one. It's called The Art of Prophecy. And I mean, look at the gorgeous artwork. It's amazing. Yeah, I want it on my shelf regardless of whether it's good, but I have an inkling because Wesley Chu has the ability to write a ripping yarn, as some may say. So he's one to watch, and I really enjoy his stuff. As far as media goes, obviously I'm just dying to get away from everything, my insanely busy schedule, to watch The Wheel of Time today. I cannot wait to watch it, and it will not have been watched by the time I post this, I'm sure. I don't know. Maybe I get up early. I don't know if it's even available. Who knows when. So obviously, I've been talking about that. I just posted a video on that yesterday, and I'm pretty excited about The Wheel of Time. I've maybe said it a couple times or something. Oh wait, I'm not good enough at editing to edit together all the times I've mentioned it. It's so bad. All right, the other ones I am looking forward to are Hyperion, and this is more just, obviously we just got news that it's being looked at. Bradley Cooper may be involved in some sense. Maybe it's just to produce in some way. I'm happy to see that. I'm happy to see that people started going, hey, Dune is doing okay. Let's look at other classic science fiction that is known for being some of the best ever. I think a lot can be done with Hyperion. There's just so much there. It's an interesting concept. One of my favorite books as well as far as science fiction goes. What I'm also looking forward to is Boba Fett, that series. Now, I've loved The Mandalorian. I thought that's been a great spin and a great addition to the Star Wars universe. I don't think I'm breaking any new ground here saying that. I will say part of why we love Boba Fett, though, is the mystery. I mean, even just him taking off his helmet in the last Mandalorian season and getting to know him a little more. And obviously, well, and of course, beyond that in the prequels, I like the mystery, and I worry that that's part of why we think he's so cool, that there is all that mysterious aspects, and if we reveal too much of the mystery, that he may not be as cool. Anyway, I always kind of I have my misgivings at any given time, but I still am hopeful, and they've done such a good job with The Mandalorian that I don't see this being any worse. I just anyway, that's one of those that you just go, have we beaten the dead horse by now? Do we need these things? Those are just the initial impressions, and then I watch it and I go, I needed all of this all the time. So I did watch, I got out in the universe, and my son and I went and watched Eternals this last week, and frankly, I thought it was pretty good. There's clearly a couple issues with, I think they could have really gone deeper with the characters and not gone so, I don't know, I felt like there were definite moments when it was, hey, we could learn something about a character, or I can tell this joke. But overall, I thought it was an interesting concept. I like the Celestials and the scope. The scope of it was really vast and interesting. I thought that was a really good. I like that Marvel kind of takes, from the smallest kind of individual stories to this huge in scope and galaxy spanning or world spanning, and I thought that's really interesting. I mean, just the themes that I thought were interesting. You can nitpick a number of things. Clearly, they were into, with the amount of times that they mentioned, well, we couldn't do anything when Thanos was here, and we couldn't do anything when, I mean, they're constantly like, here's how we explain our way out of helping out, why we weren't there for everything else. Not because this movie wasn't even a thought in anyone's mind, but because we weren't allowed to. So I get that there's plenty of things, and I've only focused on the negative. But my son and I turned to each other, and we were like, our favorite was probably the cameraman. I can't even remember his name. I'll put him. He was hilarious. And so at the same time that I criticized, Marvel puts in the joke, that character was also hilarious, and we loved him. So I just don't understand quite all the hate, because it is, what are you expecting with a Marvel movie? Clearly there have been some really good ones. I put this probably on the lower end, but also it succeeds at what it's trying to do. I don't think it in any way doesn't. So anyway, dude, if that lukewarm review helps you in any way, I don't know. We can talk in the comments, okay? So that's kind of what my week looked like. We are hovering around that 500 subscriber mark. Would love to get there. It's so close. Hey, it's another court day, and I did not realize that the Wheel of Time would already have posted its first 3 episodes last night. So I was able to actually watch the first one. I wanted to give some quick initial thoughts on it while it's fresh. I have to say my experience wasn't perfect. The first scene right away, I got some major Legend of the Seeker vibes, and I think some of it's with the camera work, this kind of shakiness, and maybe I've been watching too much John Wick lately, and with the kind of smoothness of that. So I was a little interesting there, but I like the start with. And I'm going to try to do some no spoilers first, then we'll get into spoilers in just a second. So I like that they already went right with the madness has taken him already. So that was good. It was a little slow, but it has a lot to introduce right at first. I felt like, as far as introducing things, I thought the problem is I can't separate my book reading and fanness from just watching every new introduction. Oh, there's Tam. Oh, that's like literally that's all I needed for excitement. So there's a low bar to jump over for me for at least a little bit of these. So then but I have to say, again, it was an interesting take where Lan and Moraine just kind of jump into the the city hall, essentially the big building, and ask for a place to stay. And so I so far am really enjoying it, I have to say, and I'll get into kind of spoilers as to why, but I'm on board. I definitely, there's some changes that are from the book already, and the question is whether they'll pay off. I don't know, and we'll see, but I'm willing to give it a chance, that's for sure. So on the whole, I think actually the Rotten Tomatoes score is probably pretty accurate right now, and it's still fresh, but it's still, and I've only watched the first one so far. But anyway, that's my no spoiler. Now getting into spoilers. I just thought the whole Trolloc attack was intense, and that's what really sold it for me, was the Trollocs. They were just, I mean, I loved how powerful, how fast they were, how just helpless you felt in that. And I felt like they did a great job of just, you're helpless to these monsters that are just in there. Then watching Moraine and Lan work together as a team was just beautiful. It's one thing though, I don't know if I have to get used to, because I just never pictured this even remotely. So maybe it's because it's conflicting with my head canon. But Moraine kind of doing this like, oh, with every like weave, she was doing that, and that was, I don't know, it just was a little weird. But again, it's one of those. I think it's just conflicting with my head canon. That's all. Let's see. The Perrin change was interesting. I just don't know where it's going. And again, he already has plenty to get down on himself for, so maybe this is just one of those, starting that right away. Overall, I just thought it was a good episode. The intensity that I felt, there was something just a little, I don't know, odd. And again, it's just, I think just because it's new and it's different, and I liked it overall. So anyway, back to the update. And so I can't thank you enough for, again, stopping by, for continuing to support me. I appreciate it. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.